This is how I usually combo with Mermail's post-Alliance Insight. This is what the endboard usually looks like. I have a King Neptibus, I have a Gaios with 2 materials, I have a Crocodragon that drew me 2 cards, and I've used Minstrel to take a peek at their hand, and then I hand loop them for 2 with Mulanglacio, and I have a Neptibus in my hand. So how do we get to this? Well, without Bahamut and Toad, we need to get a bit more creative. We usually need a way to see Neptibus, we need access to 2 level 7s so we can make Gaios, we need to go for Minstrels so we can actually make Crocodragon, and we need enough bodies so we can actually make the Mermail King Neptibus. So this requires a little bit more than the combo previously before the ban list. But since you open with 5 cards, it's usually not a problem to get to. And there's quite a lot of different ways that you can get to the end board that you want. Or if you have plenty of non-engine, you can go for a less impactful field and just play for follow-up, and use your non-engine to disrupt your opponent. But let's say we open Neptibus, any water monster, and either Minstrel or Shadow Squad. We start off by normal summoning Neptibus. We activate Neptibus' effect, dump Dragoons to the graveyard, to search Dragoons to our hand. Dragoons then activates and searches as Squad. Here if you open with Squad, any water, and Neptibus, you grab the Minstrel off the Dragoons. So that was the 3 cards we needed for the combo, and then you also have 2 cards in your opening hand. Here we use Minstrel, pitching the Squad, take a peek at their hand, then Squad activates, summon Pike from your deck. Then Pike activates, pitching the Dragoons to search Rhine. Dragoons then activates to search Mulanglacio. Then you activate Rhine's effect, tributing away the Neptibus to search for Tias. Neptibus then activates to reborn the Dragoons. Here you have 5 waters in grave, so you drop the Mulanglacio, hand loop your opponent for 2, overlay the Pike and Dragoons for a Snowdust Giant. Giant's effect, detach Dragoons, reveal Tias in your hand, and place a snow counter, but that counter will not matter. Then Dragoons activates to search for Poseidra. Here you special summon Tias from your hand by pitching the random water. Tias then activates to grab a second Abyss Rhine. You link away Tias and the Snowdust Giant for Coral Anemone. Use Anemone's effect to bring back Shadow Squad. Use Squad's effect to pitch a random card from your hand to make these level 7. To overlay the Mulanglacia and the Shadow Squad for Abyss Trite. Trite's effect on summon reborns Dragoons from your graveyard. Then you overlay on top of the Trite a Poseidra. Link away the Anemone and the Poseidra for a Mermail King Neptibus. Poseidra then activates to pitch either Rhine or the random card from your hand. You will later on sack these Dragoons for Poseidra, so you don't need to pitch a water to get Mermail King Neptibus' effect off. And then you summon back 3 level 3s, trigger Neptibus' effect to search Triaina. Then you synchro away Minstrel, Shadow Squad, and Abyss Rhine into Crocodragon. Croco then draws you 2 additional cards. You activate Poseidra by tributing away the Dragoons from your field. Dragoon's effect activates to search the Neptibus that we need to pitch with the Rhine so we can reborn Poseidra in opponent's turn. Then we activate Triaina, bring back the Tias, overlay the Tias and the Poseidra for a Gaios, and then we proceed on to the end phase, where the opponent will get their card back from Minstrel. And why this board is so good is because you have so many different ways to disrupt your combo. You have Gaios, which can negate their entire field. Mermail King then can add back the Triaina. So even if 2 of these cards will be non-engine, you can pitch the 1 card that you drew off Croco. So even if 2 of these are non-engine, you just need to pitch 1 card out of your hand, and then you can pitch the Triaina you got for free with the Crocodragon to pop a card. Alternatively, you can use Rhine's effect before this, banish yourself, pitch the Neptibus to draw a card. Neptibus then activates to reborn the Poseidra. Poseidra then activates to either dump heavy infantry, bounce a card and then pop a card, or dump Dragoons to bounce a card. Dragoons then activates to search heavy infantry. And here you have 2 free discards, one which will also pop an additional card once you discard it off of Crocodragon. It is worth noting that there is a combo that aims to go for Barrier Statue, even without playing the Coelacanth Brick and all the other fishes. I think that combo does get a bit more merit now if people were to cut cards like Infinite Impermanence out of their deck. and just focus on playing a bunch of Mulcharmies. Because if they're just playing a bunch of Shummies, you can just go for the combo to make a barrier statue with the Croco Dragon, pop their one way to get a normal summon to try to beat over it, and then you just kill them on the crackback because they can't beat a barrier statue. But I think just playing Mermail as a mid-range deck and going for this type of field is plenty enough. There are also some hands where you can go for either a Shengjing or the Croco Dragon as well, and maybe even a Stealth Kraken as well. So should your hand be 5 engine cards and your opponent has no hand traps, there is certainly more things that you could do. But people still play a lot of hand traps, so you should assume that your combo will get interrupted at some point. And while you can still make something like this through some hand trap, this is not something you would go for should they have Meowls, Fuvalos, or Purulea. Although thanks to Minstrel, if you open with this card and you start with it, preferably pitching something like Dragoons or Squad, you can hit their Droll out of their hand immediately before they get a chance to activate it. And they're probably inclined to just chain any Mulcharmy to the Minstrel. And then you can just play around it, depending on which Shummy it is. Even giving them 1 or maybe 2 cards to go for a still pretty impressive field, with almost full hand knowledge and Moonglacia them for 2. And just play for follow-up is still very good. So even despite the ban list, hitting Bahamut Shark and Dweller, and with Alliance Impact giving Maliss, Mitsurugi and Ryzeal that many more tools to work with, I still think that the Mermail deck is a pretty good pick, at least for a local or regional sized event. Not having to play into a Dweller helps a lot, and the fact that the Mermail deck is that good at breaking boards, considering you have plenty of extenders and way to push through what they have, and the ability to main a bunch of Mulcharmies, particularly Purulea, which is also a water monster for your effects, is a very good bonus when you play the Mermail deck. But hopefully, either a TCG exclusive or something new from the OCG might come out and give this deck a boost. But until then, I think Mermail will still be a solid tier 2 deck, and it for sure holds a special place in my heart. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day. If you enjoy my content, make sure to also subscribe to my second channel, linked in the description box down below. There I'll be posting more personalized and exclusive content.